Come on, boys. Let's go, man. Let's go. Myself, I'm a happy guy. I'm a happy guy with this performance. Normally, after international break, we don't tend to play that well. We don't tend to get results. So I will take that considering the context of the team and squad right now. Injuries to key players. Players weren't even fully fit playing games in the second half. It's a lot to take in right now. And the fact that we are leaving the City ground with 3 goals. Goals scored courtesy of Acheampong with his first career goal at our football club. Pedro Neto, different game second half. And Reece James making it 3 on his 200th appearance as a Chelsea player. There's a lot of positives to take from this game. But as we all know, man, discussing this game, it was a game of 2 halves. The first half and the second half. So let's unpack what we saw, right? Let's start with that first half. I know a lot of you guys, you see the lineup, and I get it, first game back after international break. You're still thinking about Esteval's last-minute winner against Liverpool. It felt like last season. It felt like an eternity ago. You're ready again, yeah? It's early on a Saturday weekend too. You're pumped. You're gearing up for things. You've been discussing the lineups with your boys. Is Esteval going to be in the middle or the right-hand side? So when you saw that this guy wasn't even in the team today, when you saw that it was like Gusto in midfield again, Reece James, Garnacho on the left-hand side, etc., etc., I can understand why a few people might have been scratching their heads a bit thinking, yo, what's actually going on? I didn't sign up for this after international break. And we had a lot of difficulties in that first half. Many, many difficulties. Now, don't want to be that guy, but if you guys saw my preview, I mentioned one clear point. Because of the injuries, or maybe the late fitness reports of a few key first-team players, I had a feeling that you'd see Lavia and Andre Santos playing in midfield together. I'm going to focus on these 2 guys to explain my point, because by themselves, these guys are talents. When they're playing alongside the more senior players like Enzo or Moises, they shine even more. But playing together is a bit of a different story, right? It's a different story because it's not about just having natural God-given talent. It doesn't instantly make you a great player for the team. And I stress the word team. You need more than that. You need to have the rhythm of each other's game, the chemistry. In systems like this, you need to understand when to move up and when to drop, when to move laterally, when to rotate. There's all these key mechanisms and details that are needed. And I mention this point because for all the talent these guys have, playing together, different story at the moment. First game they've played. And it felt like in particular, we struggled with our build-up play. It was very uncharacteristic. Now, yes, we've paid the price over the last few games now from sloppy mistakes from the back that have punished us. I don't know today how we did not concede against Nottingham Forest. And if anything, we're playing against Forest at the perfect time because for all the quality they showed offensively, they didn't have the heart. They didn't have the confidence. They're lacking something right now. There was no conviction behind their finishing. They played the game today, but they didn't play that they felt they could win the game. And that's what helped us in the end because we were the only team today that felt like the game was there to be won. Hence why we leave the City ground with 3 points. But to finish my point, you guys, this is like part of the parcel when it comes to accepting what it means to have a very young squad and a very young team. It comes with patience. It comes with time. They need to understand all the finer details behind what makes the system click and also find that chemistry with each other as well too. On top of that, when you got guys like Garnacho, the left wing, listen, I know you guys, we can have a debate on the left wing. In my opinion, in the summer, I was like, spend big money on first team quality. Give me a Nico Williams. Yeah, can we do something for Rafael Leao? Can we do something big for someone down the left? Hopefully these guys in Gittins and Garnacho can step up. At the moment, growing pains getting used to the team. Garnacho at times, especially the first half, the timing of his runs. I said he's a very high volume player, but the efficiency and quality behind this high volume play isn't always there at times. And I just felt like it wasn't the best performance from him. You're adding all these little details. You're adding the fact that our defenders were also struggling. I thought Acheampong, he turned things around second half for sure, but he found things hard in the first half. And we can be honest about that. doesn't mean he's bad. It's a conversation that we have to address. He's still very young himself. I think it's like his third or fourth start for us in his career at the moment. And it was a few little sloppy passes and sloppy details between himself and Chalobah. And I felt like when Maresca was trying to do this like 2+2 build-up, it was actually inviting and encouraging Nottingham Forest to press us, to harry us, to fight for the second balls. And they got so many turnovers. I don't understand how they didn't score a goal. We got extremely lucky, and to be fair with you. The only real moment of quality that we saw in that first half came from João Pedro playing like a false nine, dropping deep in the halfway line. Beautiful skill, nice little like Brazilian reverse dummy to get past Ngare. And then a delicious ball over the top. Good run by Andre Santos, but now that you're here, man, Santos, you had to score that with your left foot. You had to score that. It was set up for you to make it 1-0 before half-time. Other than that, that was like the most notable bit of quality we showed. And it was quite obvious where we were lacking. So let's discuss the second half. This is where everything came right. And the thing is, when you see Enzo Maresca making a triple substitution, yeah, XXXL subs coming on, best believe this is going to be a completely different game. And Nottingham Forest paid the price for not taking advantage of some of the mistakes and some of the inefficiency we showed in that first half. Gittins coming on, Mark Gu coming on as well, and Moises Caicedo. You saw Reece James, not even inverting. Reece James played as a fullback. It was Malo Gusto who inverted inside midfield. You saw the big sub, Mark Gu, coming on the field, essentially playing that B version of Liam Delap, or how I like to see Mark Gu, like the 19-year-old version of Delap. That was big. Why? Because that unlocked João Pedro. I feel sorry for Pedro at times. He's got the quality, he's got the play, but since playing up front for us, he's really suffered and he's really struggled because he's had no one to play off with. There's no Palmers, there's no Estevals. The team don't create for him. All the movement that he has to show playing as a Chelsea striker, because that's the thing, yeah. You have to constantly plug holes. You have to constantly probe across the field. You have to make runs and movement to release your teammates. It's a very selfless job to play as a Chelsea striker in this Maresca setup. But the few times where he's even, you know what I mean, he's finally got a chance to shine or something. To shine you. You see like a Pedro Neto, unable to play the passing behind to release the sky and goal. Like, you got to give a little. So I think it was wise for Maresca to realize Pedro probably has to be the Palmer of the team until Palmer comes back now. Yeah? Different game from him. More influence. Running towards goal. Combining. We saw that lovely bit of like, back and forth between himself and Cucurella down the left-hand side. He's attracting opponents towards him. And he's just got this X factor in which he plays with, where he's always under control. He always knows what the game needs at the right time. He's a great player to have between the lines. And having Mark Gu basically unlock Pedro and just introduce that real balance into the team. Mark Gu was what the team needed. Yeah? Made it difficult for Nottingham Forest defenders. Harrying, chasing lost causes, chasing second balls. Bit of a physical profile and presence to occupy the defense, to allow our guys out wide and between the lines to shine a bit and attack from deep. Attack those spaces that Mark Gu is creating, playing that selfless role. I think maybe because Mark Gu is like, listen, if I'm not going to have one or two shots, so be it. I'm going to run like a madman. I'm going to press like a madman. I've got the strength in myself as well too. We're going to make things happen. And that's exactly how the game turned around in that second half. Obviously not forgetting Moises Caicedo being the best when it comes to playing out from the back. And of course, just allowing us to play forward too. And it was no surprise that we quickly go in front. I thought it was excellent play from Pedro Neto down that left-hand side, yeah. I've always personally felt like I preferred Neto on the left because maybe it just reduces and simplifies this game a bit more. Beautiful classic win play, yeah. Times his acceleration and burst of speed in front of his man. And Pedro Neto is one of the best players in the Premier League at crossing on the run. That's a difficult skill to pull off. You have to master the weight of that cross, yeah. It's very hard. And then put it on a dime in the box too. Sensational cross. And he sets up Josh Acheampong for his first Chelsea career goal. These little small wins for Josh are definitely going to help him. Of course, he has a long way away, a lot of development to do. But outside of the difficulties I thought that he showed on the ball at times, or maybe some of the flat-footedness with his switch balls, it was a bit too floaty for my liking. He did help the team with his recovery pace. Yeah, it's a tough game against our Nimi. Bro, I butchered these names like crazy. Apologies for my Niger boys. He did have his merits in the game. And I think at this stage of his career, you know, you don't play games with perfection, right? It's like you hope that you have more positive actions compared to negative ones in your first proper introduction season. So that was a great goal from Josh. And hopefully that will be his bread and butter as he develops a lot more. But getting that first goal against Forest completely changed the game and opened it up for us, because you could see those Forest heads go down. They went down so quickly. And they were on the floor. They were in the gutter, actually, a few moments later when a free kick is won right outside the box. And when you're seeing free kicks about to be taken from this position, like from like 20 yards away from goal, with the perfect camera angle, I'm sure a lot of you guys probably sense something's going to come from this. We're probably going to score. It was a nice little layoff from Reece James, and Pedro Neto, who does have excellent shooting, excellent striking mechanisms when he gets it right. He's a bit inconsistent, but he makes it too. And essentially, Pedro Neto changes the game for us. It was quite frustrating in the first half because, you know, a lot of the good balls he put inside the box, Garnacho and other players weren't in sync, weren't in tandem, and it was going to waste. So he definitely took that frustration out rightfully in the second half, and he helped us secure the game like 10 minutes into the second half, which was great. You saw a bit of a reaction or non-reaction from Postecoglou. Of course, Marianakis, he didn't watch the rest of the game. Very ominous signs if you're Postecoglou. It was, like, listen, you guys know me. I'm a bit of a, I like my Cobham players, man. I was watching these guys when they were young, but Hudson-Odoi was causing us some issues. At times, I was like, Maresca, what's going to be the plan to stop this guy now? Yeah? Like, he's one of those guys that I'd hate to defend against, because it just feels like he's going to put my knees under pressure 24/7. Like, he's really good at executing actions from, like, the tiniest amount of space. And I feel like he caused us too many issues again. And he always seems to play a great game against us. And actually, I've always felt like he probably makes sense in our system even more because of what he can do and create. He doesn't just create from beating his man, but the balls in the box, like when Forrest smashed the crossbar when it was dead cert to become 2-1. I didn't know. I mean, I knew what was going to happen. It meant the game was over for sure then, because they weren't going to get back from that. But they caused us a lot of issues, especially the third man movements of like Anderson and Hudson-Odoi down the left-hand side, the crosses inside the box. I didn't think at times our defending was excellent. And if Nottingham Forest had more confidence behind themselves, they would then, I think, get a few goals in this game. And things are a lot more techier. So I think we have to also appreciate we're playing against a Forest team at the right time. And at the time of recording this video, it's been announced that Postecoglou has been relieved of his duties with immediate effect. So the rumors were right. There was like a lot of, pressure going into this game. Maybe too much unfair pressure that kind of worked against the entire team, actually. I didn't think it was a terrible game from Forest, to be fair with you, but when you haven't won a game in your first 8, it's looking a bit peak, especially when you've dropped 125 million on too many attacking players that aren't even getting in the team. So, hey, make of that what you will, you guys. But I'm going to wrap up this review right now very quickly. Another point we can't forget, Malo Gusto's stupid red cards. I mean, I feel like he has to get fined for that. I'm sorry. That's a bit of a punishment thing now. That's a fine. Putting us under pressure for what? So be it. Esteval Willian not starting. I'm okay. I'm okay with it. I want to end my point just discussing this. I'm okay with that because I'm here for Esteval over the next 3 to 5 years. I think it's obvious that Maresca is kind of conditioning his body to get used to the Premier League. I think it's obvious too that he came on in the 70th minute, right? Forest kind of capitulate even more after the 70th minute. Statistically, it's been proven And that's probably a good time to introduce Estevan when the games open up more, when he can kind of run at man, build his confidence in terms of his game and applying it in the Premier League. And even that cameo, man, when he won the ball in midfield and carried us up the field, he showed nice little bits of play. And I think at this stage, when you're Estevan and you get your appearances, as long as you're just up, but you're doing positive things, making things happen, that's going to get you ready eventually for that first team place. So listen, I understand the frustration because he's one of the most magical players to watch, right? I get it. We want to see more of him. But for myself, I'm here for the long game. I don't want this guy crashing and burning by the time he's 21. This season is kind of a non-season in my opinion, because it's just about his introduction, the transition, yeah, about feeling himself and understanding the league. We got many years ahead with Estevan Williams, so I suggest we remain a bit patient, you guys, because today we also show that we have other qualities right now. And I guess the talking point we can all think about is, does it make sense for us now to kind of use Mark Yu more consistently now, as his role up front actually benefits the rest of his teammates? That's something to think about and something to get involved with in the comments right now. So my friends, thank you for watching. 3 goals, and Chelsea get Ange Postecoglou sacked after an incredible second half turnaround. So love my guys. Catch you all soon. Cool.